Coming up on Cronkite News, in Superior, the resolution copper mining proposal is posing a threat, according to activists, and specifically to water.
Plus, do you call this street a frontage road or a service road? Find out unique phrases and pronunciations Valley residents use that make Arizona's dialect special. And later, the Milwaukee Brewers have a familiar face with them for the 2023 season.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Maria Stobbs.
And I'm Brianna Steele. Thank you for joining us.
2 Phoenix City Council seats are up for grabs today after the District 6 and 8 races were pushed to a runoff.
Connor McGill is live out at Burton Bar Central Library with how things are going in today's election.
Across the valley, we have seen light turnout throughout the day. I spoke with one voter who told me moments ago that they heard about today's election by a simple Google search. I also spoke with 2 candidates who are vying for these city council spots, and they said they are ready for the results.
Again, like I said, I'm somewhat cautiously optimistic. Never want to get out over my skis. I just know we've done everything that we needed to do. So I'm happy with our efforts. I'm just gonna hopefully they'll pay off.
Robinson is running against Sam Stern for the District 6 City Council seat, which was previously held by Sal DeCiccio, who was termed out. In District 8, current council member Carlos Garcia failed to get over 50% of the vote in November. He faces Keisha Hodge Washington, who tells me she's confident.
I feel like I've done what I believe I needed to do. I've connected with as many voters as possible. I had a plan, I executed it, and now it's the voters' choice.
I also caught up with Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, who has endorsed both Washington and Robinson, but she says she's eager to work with anyone.
Really looking forward to working with the council. I hope we'll get people who are focused on the future and who can help guide the city of Phoenix as we make incredibly important decisions.
We did not hear from Stern or Garcia at this time, but if you live in Districts 6 or 8 in Phoenix, there is still time left to vote. Polls close at 7 p.m. In Phoenix, Connor McGill, Cronkite News.
The Environmental Protection Agency and Biden administration announced today that they've created the first ever national standard to limit chemicals in drinking water. The standard applies to 6 different substances known as PFAS. These synthetic chemicals are used to create nonstick cookware because of their strong chemical bond. So when they contaminate water, they accumulate in the environment and within people's bodies. It will cost billions to limit PFAS contamination, but according to the EPA, they cause serious illnesses, and reducing them could save tens of thousands of lives.
And President Joe Biden also signed an executive order today focused on gun control. According to the Associated Press, the executive order included increasing background checks to buy guns, promoting more secure firearms storage, and ensuring U.S. law enforcement agencies get a more bipartisan law on gun control. The president asked the Federal Trade Commission to make a public report that analyzes how gun manufacturers market to minors and how military images are marketed to the public.
The Resolution copper mine would be the largest mine in the U.S. and promises to create thousands of jobs in Superior. Some activists oppose the project. Cronkite News reporter Tabitha Bland explains why they oppose the construction of the mine.
In 2021, Apache Stronghold argued in court that the mine would affect their religious practices. The Arizona Miners Reform Coalition had another concern: the environment.
I said I was born and raised in Superior, so mining has always been in my blood.
Henry Munoz worked in the mines his whole life, but now he is fighting against one in his hometown.
I saw it as my responsibility to educate my community and let them know, hey, you know what? This isn't all what it seems to be.
According to activists, the Resolution copper mining proposal poses a threat to the environment, specifically water.
The more people learn about this proposal, the more people oppose it.
As you can see all around me, I am surrounded by beautiful scenery, but the real question is, what will happen right below my feet? If the mine goes into operation, it will cause a crater that will reach 1.8 miles across. Munoz says the Resolution copper mining will use a technique known as block caving. This mining method is used to extract large, low-grade ore bodies. It creates a large underground cavity.
We have a replica of the Eiffel Tower, which is 1,080 feet. So that just gives you a clue of what the subsidence is going to look like.
The Arizona Mining Reform Coalition indicates that block cave mining can have negative impacts on humans, wildlife, and water quality. Cronkite News reached out to Resolution Copper 3 weeks ago and did not receive a response. According to the Resolution Copper website, their goal is to develop a project that respects the environment. They say they take water seriously. The Bureau of Land Management reviewed the hydrology report for the project and said that the final environmental impact statement should state the possibility of water contamination.
Our town's at stake, and if people don't speak up and stand up for what's right and protect their drinking water, we're going to end up like the other communities without any water and the demise of our town.
Superior has been a proud mining town since 1875, but now they are also prioritizing their water. The Apache Stronghold versus United States case arguing the mine will be reheard in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The oral argument will be held next week. In the newsroom, Tabitha Bland, Cronkite News.
Gliding thousands of feet in the air while twisting and turning might sound scary.
But for aerobatic pilots, it's just another day at the office.
Coming up, a sport that relies only on the wind and the wings of an aircraft instead of fuel.
Arizona is experiencing some cloud coverage but temperatures are still warming up. After the break, we'll have your weekly weather forecast.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Pales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Imagine gliding thousands of feet in the air, carried only by the wind and the aeronautic engineering of your aircraft. That's what glider pilots do every day.
And reporter Ryan Blank found out Arizona has some of the best conditions to glide in the nation.
We're ready to go. If you look up east of the Sierra Estrella Mountains, you may see the wings of a glider sailing effortlessly through the distant sky.
You're resting up in the air and things are going by slowly and there's no sound. It's what you imagine as a kid it would be like to fly as a bird. It's just really terrific.
The Estrella Sailport in Maricopa, Arizona is an outpost at the foundation of an evolving sport, glider aerobatics.
The type of flying that most requires a really good fundamental piloting skill, more than any other types of aviation. It's an interesting blend of physical control of the aircraft and of mental decision making.
That's because the competing glider pilots have an aerobatic box in which to showcase their skills in a sequence, balancing their pilot's skills in the natural environment.
You want to have as much of the sequence as possible right in front of the judges. If you have a very strong wind, you're going to be coming into the aerobatic box and you might have to drive into the wind in order to have your first figure start in the right place so all the rest of the figures are in the right place.
And nowhere will you see more accomplished pilots who ride the wind like at the U.S. National Aerobatic Championships, held here this year.
I've been fortunate enough to be able to do the competition flying for a long time. I think the competition really is about yourself and competing against yourself and improving your skills year after year.
Competing here at the Estrella Sailport is special for all the pilots, as it is the birthplace of gliding aerobatics in the United States, dating back to 1969.
It's the place I love to compete at, and this is a great place for it because you can do glider aerobatics and all glider flying year-round.
A panel of judges scores the pilot's sequence, similar to figure skating, scoring different maneuvers such as looping and rolling figures.
We start as judges with the assumption that the figure is going to be perfect. So we start with 10, and then every time we see a mistake, we knock some points off. And there are all sorts of deductions for each of the various errors that you can make in a particular figure. So we deduct from 10 down to perhaps as low as 0.
But maybe more important than the competition is a chance to show off the sport, something that's been a goal of owner Jason Stevens since his family purchased the Sailport in 1987.
That's really rewarding. I get to fly with lots of interesting people from all sorts of backgrounds and from all over the world. It's good that there's things like this that can bring people together.
It's amazing. You want to see it grow because if it's growing, it's going to continue, down the line. One of the awful realizations or realities that we face as a pilot is that we're not always going to be able to do this. Helping to cultivate the newer generations of aerobatic pilots ensures that this amazing sport will continue in the future.
With my feet firmly planted on the ground, in Maricopa, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
The warm temps in the valley are perfect for gliding, but wind, not so much.
Ariana Ariza is in the Cronkite Weather Center to tell us if the forecast is good for gliding.
Thank you, guys. Just earlier today, we had our second 80 degree of this year. We're gonna see those really nice temperatures this evening still, where it's gonna hit 78 at 6 p.m. We're gonna see it starting to cool off where it's gonna hit 70 at 10 p.m. As you see, those clouds are coming in tonight because coming off of the California coast, we're gonna see those showers making its way on Wednesday, leaving us clear on Thursday morning. Although it was really warm this weekend, you don't want to put your jackets away just yet because we're going to see some cooler temperatures tomorrow. We're going to see those lows tomorrow with a low 55 in Phoenix, a low 31 in Flagstaff, a low 56 in Lake Havasu, and a low 54 in Yuma. Warming up just a tad bit throughout the day, but still want to make sure you're nice and bundled because we're going to see a high 65 in Phoenix, a high 46 in Payson, a high 43 at the Grand Canyon. We're going to warm up over here on the west side with a high 67 Lake Havasu and a high 74 in Yuma. That's going to take us to our 7-day forecast with that rain tomorrow with a high 72 on St. Patrick's Day. Taking us into our weekend, if you're celebrating, you're going to experience some really nice 70s. It's going to start to warm up leading into next week with some cloudy skies and a high 76 on Tuesday. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Ariana Ariza.
I'm Nick Hogan. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. You might remember this shot from player Bryce Drew. Now he's leading the GCU Lokes to the NCAA playoffs.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted. They need to be explored.
We're the dreamers. How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Welcome.
How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you?
Are you ready for the show?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got or what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's
my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Nick Hogan outside Chase Field where the 2023 World Baseball Classic is going on. Right now, Canada and Colombia are playing, and set to face off at 7 are Great Britain and Mexico. Meanwhile, spring training enters its 5th week as games continue around the Cactus League. For the Milwaukee Brewers, they boosted their pitching staff by bringing in a veteran who's making his second go-around with the club. Here's Nicholas Petrisky with a new segment we call Same Faces, New Places.
While he might not have a flashy nickname, 36-year-old veteran Wade Miley is back with the Brewers for the second time in his 14-year MLB career. The lefty who got his start in Arizona is now ready to make another pennant run with the Brewers.
Loved it here when I was here in 18. We had a good run. I think we fell one game short of the World Series, and that's been with me the whole time. Everywhere else I've been, always loved this place. Love the clubhouse, the guys. Counts does a tremendous job.
Miley joins an already stacked rotation of Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. We asked Brandon Woodruff what it meant to have Miley back with the Brew Crew.
It's awesome. I could tell a bunch of stories about old Wade over here. He, back in 18, I've never seen somebody be ready for a baseball game, fully dressed with cleats on and a glove 2 hours for the game. So, he keeps it real loose and fun, and, that helped me out a lot when I was a little bit younger.
Miley left the Brewers in 2018, but kept in touch with his old teammates. This time around, Miley is ready to be the veteran for his teammates to lean on.
And it's been fun to watch them grow and turn into what they've turned into, and just here to help in any way I can and just try to bridge some gaps to get it back to them.
Above all, Miley is a family man, and before spring training, Miley received a welcome present from his son, Jeb. The lefty enjoys that his son is starting to understand the game of baseball.
Great, he's 6 years old. So last year I think he started understanding and remembering some things. So it's really cool to have him running around and be able to bring him in the clubhouse and hang out with the boys.
With old Wade slotted into the rotation, the Brewers are hoping to make another run in the postseason, this time making it all the way to the World Series.
He's such a piece of work. I call him one of one. I don't think the world will never make another Wade Miley.
In Phoenix, Nicholas Petrisky, Cronkite Sports.
Spring training fans are filing into Cactus League ballparks to check out some baseball, and as Aviana Hopp has found out, enjoy the culinary experience each stadium has to offer as well.
With 10 Cactus League stadiums hosting fans of 15 teams, there's a lot of food for thought for park managers in deciding what items make the menu.
For a mix of not only our contracted concessionaire that also operates in Milwaukee and a few other spring training complexes, but we do also seek a few local food trucks or opportunities for those that come in and they might not want a standard baseball fare. They might want to try something a little more Arizona based, so we try to keep a mix of different offerings.
Baseball fans are looking for unique food experiences at each ballpark. Over in Mesa, the Cubs are carrying deep dish pizza, and at Salt River Fields, it's the Sonoran hot dog, and here at Camelback Ranch, it's the classic Dodger dog.
When you talk about food and beverage, I think that's half the reason a lot of people come out to spring training.
Despite the high sales from stadium staples such as hot dogs, pizza, and nachos, there's one item on the menu that fans want the most to wash down their tasty food.
Beer still rules baseball. On an individual item basis, the classics still always win. It is beer, hot dog, and peanuts. are by far the top 3 sellers. Weather dependent, definitely bottled water. You know, we get those temperatures hitting over 80 degrees and got to stay hydrated.
From Phoenix, Arizona, Aviana Hoppus, Cronkite News.
It's been 25 years since the 1998 NCAA Tournament 13th seed Valparaiso upset 4th-seeded Ole Miss thanks to a last-second three-pointer made by Bryce Drew. This play became known as the shot. Drew is now the current head coach of the GCU men's basketball team. The Lopes have been the underdogs this whole season, but punched their ticket to the big dance after upsetting Southern Utah to clinch the 2023 WAC conference title. Now as the 13th seed, GCU is headed to Denver, Colorado to take on 3 seed Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament.
You know, Gonzaga is one of the best teams in the country, top 10, you know, all year, and their experience. They have guys that have played in national championship games. Many of our guys are playing in their first NCAA tournament, you know, coming in. And so, you know, similar to the Valpo team to now, you know, you come in again as that underdog and you come in with a lot of energy and you know, a game plan that you want to try to execute. At the end of the day, you have to have a lot of things fall into place, you know, in games like this.
There's still a healthy rivalry between Chris Paul and Steph Curry. In the 2014 NBA playoffs nearly 10 years ago, the LA Clippers, led by Paul, defeated the Warriors in a 7-game series. Steph Curry was captured on camera during the Golden State Warriors-Phoenix Suns game on Monday saying, "It's not 2014 anymore." This was in reference to Paul's 2014 win against the Warriors in the Western Conference opening round. As for Paul's response last night, he didn't appear to recall what Curry was referring to. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Maria and Brianna.
Coming up, believe it or not, how you speak and pronounce words reflects where you're from.
So we put Arizonans to the test to find out what the Arizona dialect is like in the Valley.
Coming up, find out why Arizonans want their local dialect protected.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Pales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Do you say coyote or coyote? Well, it depends on where you live. A recent survey says that a majority of Arizonans would like to see the dialect local to their state protected.
But as our reporter Alexia Stanbridge found out, Arizona may not have just one dialect to protect.
I don't know what a swamp box is. What is a swamp box?
A swamp box is an air conditioner. Does that surprise you?
Oh. Oh. Yep.
The way we speak and understand language varies depending on people and places.
Do you know if everyone in Arizona knows what a haboob is?
Not everyone knows what it is because a lot of people aren't from Arizona. If they're new to Arizona, they wouldn't know what it is.
Karen Adams is a professor of linguistics at Arizona State University. She says there is not just one dialect in Arizona, but there are phrases and terms unique to our state. For example, a frontage road is a street that runs parallel to a main road.
Where I came from, it was called the service road. So it's a road that has different names depending on where you live.
Adam says Indigenous and Spanish terms are a big part of what is perceived as Arizona dialect. But the differences don't end there. Dialects can vary in grammatical usage, what's polite and not polite when taking turns speaking, and pronunciation.
Can you say this word right here for me? Okay.
Well, it's pronounced in two different ways. From where I'm from in Montana originally, it's coyote, but down here it's coyote.
Coyote?
Yeah, because of the yotes.
The results of a recent survey showed 57% of Arizonans would like their local dialect to be made official by law in order to prevent it from dying out. At the moment, there is no effort at the legislature to make this happen. Still, Adams says language creates cultural identity, and that makes it important to preserve.
You know, maintaining those particular usages and that are a way of, you know, saying we're still here and we're an important part of this state.
In Phoenix, Alexia Stambridge, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us.